The next step in setting up an account is configuring the teams and agents that belong to those teams. First, you will configure your teams in your contact center. For example, you may have a customer service team, technical support team, and billing team. Click the Add Teams button, name the team, and set up the caller ID. Although there are multiple other options here, this is all that needs to be done at a team level. Now you will start adding agents to your newly created teams. The licensing for users, which you are charged for, is not limited by how many agents you add to this list. User licenses are billed by how many agents are logged in to the CCA application at one time. Click the Add Agent button. Next, input the agent's first and last name. Then input the username, which is used for logging into the CCA or admin portal. First initial, last name is commonly used. Note, usernames are not case sensitive and do have a 16-character limit. Next, input the agent's email address. Under the Settings section, you will input the location this user will be at, along with their supervisor. You may need to revisit this section if you have not yet added supervisors to the contact center. Supervisors are assigned to an agent in the Security tab, which I'll cover shortly. The virtual extension, when entered, creates an entry for the agent in the CCA phone book, only when the agent is signed in. Now, select the initial in-call status. This determines which status they will be signed in with when the agent first logs into CCA. If they should not receive any sort of call, then the default Not Ready status should be selected. If you want them to be ready for any and all calls, then select the Available status. Accept internal calls should be selected if you want them to be able to receive internal calls from colleagues or their manager, but no incoming external calls. If for some reason you want them to not receive any calls, but be in a busy on break status, then choose that. Last of all, if you want them to be in a busy status, but not using the on break portion, then choose Busy Other. Next, you'll configure the status limits. Here you see Not Ready is at 1 minute. Once this agent is in that status for longer than 1 minute, their name will appear in a red font on the monitoring page. Another example is wrap-up time being set to 5 minutes. This means that after a call is completed, the agent has 5 minutes of wrap-up. If an agent is in the status for longer than 5 minutes, then their name will be in a red font on the monitoring page. You then have the option to check this checkbox. When checked, if the agent goes over the Not Ready or wrap-up time, then they are automatically forced to available so that they can take more calls. One of the more common setups you'll see is to have the initial in-call status be Not Ready. Set the Not Ready time to 1 minute, and then force them to available once that 1 minute is reached. Also here is the On-Call, On-Break, Other, and On-Hold, which can all be configured if you're using these statuses. Please note, there is not an option to force users out of these particular statuses. If you are using chat, then you should configure the nickname of the agent that will show up on chats and the number of concurrent chats that you expect the agent to handle at one time. If all agents are going to use the same chat nickname, then leave this blank and set up the chat in the global settings. Entering a name in this field will override the global nickname setting. Last of all is the comment section. Anything input here is only visible to other administrators. Now click on the Security tab. You are going to assign the default role for this agent, which will populate default permissions based on the role selected. If a role is grayed out, then it's likely because it requires a team leader role or higher. These roles form a hierarchy and determine a user's scope and visibility to other users throughout the screens of the admin portal, as well as providing the same hierarchy views to reports. A user with the agent role who is given access to the monitoring screen in the permissions section will only see themselves being monitored, while team leaders would only see agents on their team but no other teams or team leaders. Office managers will see all agents and all team leaders within their location, but no other office managers. Call center managers see everyone except other call center managers. Administrator is the highest role and can see all other roles. This section is particularly important if you're making use of classifications, which is a feature that allows agents to categorize certain calls and/or flag these calls for supervisor review. Since classifications allow flagging a supervisor, you'll need to determine who the supervisors are, and then check the "This user is a supervisor" box on this page. In addition to this, all agents reporting to the supervisor should have their supervisor selected in the General Information section. Next, select the permissions. Regular agents should have the bare minimum of access permissions. Sometimes it is best to only give them the Access Call Center Agent and Change Own Password. You can also check Access Administration Site if you would like them to have access to their profile, downloading the CC application, contact information for intermediate support, and a direct link to the wiki to help answer any questions they may have. The Change Password tab is for administrators to change an agent's password. When done from the CCA application, the agent must know their old password before setting up a new one. For admins, they do not need to know the old password in case the agent has forgotten it. For security purposes, it is best for the admin to set up a temporary password and then check the Force Password Change box so that the user can set up their own when logging in with the temporary password. Next is the Skills section. If skill sets are activated at the team level that the agent is a part of, then it will be displayed on this screen as Inherited from Team to the right of the priority column. If the skill is inherited from the team level, then you cannot unassign this skill for this user, but you can select the Exclude option from the drop-down menu for any queue you do not wish that agent to receive interactions from. This section will show individually assigned if the skill set was assigned at the agent level. To edit the skills, click the Manage Individual Skills button. Check the checkbox next to each queue you wish to skill the agent for. The Type column will tell you the type of queue: voice inbound, voice outbound, chat, or email. Then select the priority for each active skill, with 1 being the highest priority and 10 being the lowest. The last option in the list is Exclude, which again is used for skills inherited from the team skill set. These team-inherited skills cannot be deleted, so you can instead use the Exclude option so that the agent will not receive interactions from that skill. Later, if you wish for the agent to receive interactions from that skill, then simply change the priority to anything other than Exclude. An example of priorities has an agent skill to 3 different queues: sales, billing, and tech support. If all 3 queues have a priority of 5, and all have a call queued up, then the agent will receive the earliest queued call first. If we change the tech support queue to priority 4, and all 3 queues have a call queued, then the tech support queue call will go to the agent first, even if the other 2 callers have been waiting for longer. Apply changes to active sessions after updating should be checked if you wish these changes to take immediate effect. Uncheck this box if you wish to have the changes go into effect the next time this agent logs into the CCA application. Last of all is the Schedule Manager tab for those who have this feature enabled. The Schedule Manager helps you complete the activities needed to maintain a productive workforce. If you would like to learn about the power of agent scheduling, contact your intermediate representative.